problems now become very clear. If it is funding, we know that okay, it is funding. If it is this, then we know that it is that. But no matter how much amount of fund and everything that we put in the table, where you don't get the people and the orientation right, you are likely to get a good result out of it. So that really is my take.
Good. You've talked about the schools, you've talked about lecturers and all that. What about the curricula? Do you think the curricula we use at the moment is in sync with the reality?
It's not. Just for God, it's actually one of the things. We have what we call 50 steps to greatness, you know, and under the education sector, our curriculum is one. I would believe that we have to continuously review our curriculum. I mean, I just mentioned visual science education. Yes, yeah. It's all borders on that, because we have to look at it that, look, going to the future. There's no point beginning to produce students and you say they don't get jobs, but you are using, you know, some the lecture notes of 10 years ago to teach a student now, when really the world has moved very far from that. So one of the things that we have there again is regular review of our curriculum, so that we can produce students and graduates that can compete in the ever-changing world. And that really is what we're also looking at. It that, look, we have to also begin to work on the entrepreneurial skill of our graduates. Yes. Government cannot create all the jobs. Even private sector too, even when they create the jobs, they also want a situation where the person that's going to work, they also has a bit of a skill. Yeah. So these are some of the things that we feel should go into our curriculum. In those days in the university, we used to call general studies, where, you know, even if you are in arts, you learn about science. I think that what should really be general studies in most schools now should be entrepreneurial skill, because there are not just enough jobs there. People are meant to come out, use their brain, and be able to compete very well.
All right, thank you very much. We are still chatting with Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka, one of the professionals who is vying for the post of governor in one of the southwest states, Ogun to be precise. So on this note, we must take a break. We'll be back. You're welcome back. You're still watching A Chat to the Professional, and my guest remains Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka. Before we went on break, we've talked about the education sector, we've talked about professionals in politics, how well they fared and all that. But at the moment, I would like us to narrow our discussion down to 2011 elections. Over the years, we've also complained about sharp practices in our system of getting into government, if you like. What do you think we are doing differently at the moment? Are we getting it right?
Well, I don't know, because even if I use my own experience, I would say that we still have quite some challenges. But I also agree that we don't have a choice but to continue along this line, and then believing that we can only get better. I think that quite a lot of people still use what I call naked, power to oppress, all over the place. Our institutions, we still need to work a bit more on our institutions, so that we can continue to rely on our institutions to give us the kind of result that we want. I think that, in my opinion, judiciary, which should be the last hope of a common man. I think that as of this moment, even when we read all that's happening all over the place, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, in all the places, and like I said, even our own recent experience in the Federal High Court in Abuja, I think that there's still a lot of room for improvement before we can begin to have the kind of confidence that we need to have in some of these institutions. So as a nation, I agree that after about 12 years of democracy in the Fourth Republic, we have learned some lessons. Quite a number of our rules have been tested. Quite a number of people have seen what it is, or to have free environment and all that. But I think we still need to do a lot in order for people to have the kind of confidence that we need to have in our system. That really it is. I just take the judiciary, ditto with every other aspect. But judiciary is more painful, because one will expect that after everybody has performed whatever they want to perform, when we get in there, we will get somebody who will interpret what you need to interpret and do what you need to be right. But we are really not doing that, very much there, and that's really sad. But it's part of that. This is our country. This is our process. We just have to encourage people to get into it so that we can get a better environment.
So what do you think we should do to move forward? Because I mean, it's not just enough for us to sit here and say, okay, perhaps the judiciary might be a bit compromised. Fine. What about the INEC and other electoral processes? Because if we all just sit back and complain and do nothing, I'm sure in 20 years to come, we probably might not make a headway.
Well,
so
as the Arabs have taught us, ultimately the power belongs to the people. Ultimately, power belongs to the people. Yeah. And the people must just, at some point, also come out and say, hey, this is not what happened here. Yeah. This is the thing. I think that once we can have one or two instances of that, then other people will sit tight. That is my opinion. It is just for our people to begin to show a lot more interest. A society will get the kind of government they deserve. A state, a nation, everywhere. So if we just sit back as a state or as a nation, and we don't also do what we need to do as a people, because this government is supposed to be government of the people, for the people. Yeah. So where there are issues and where there are people really feel strongly about, I think it is for people to come out and say, no, this should not be like this. Okay. This is not what happened here. And I think, like I said, it's happening everywhere. Even people that have been there for 30 years and 40 years and 50 years. Not talk of our own that is less. I think that is the thing. That's about the only solution that I see here.
Well, I think you've heard it from him, but I hope and pray that it doesn't get to the point where people begin to take to the streets like we've witnessed in Egypt, we've witnessed in Tunisia, Libya, and so on and so forth. But just drawing some inference from what he said, what that simply means is that you've got to come out and perform your civic responsibility and ensure that you vote. And when you do, also ensure that your vote counts. Finally, what's the way forward? Now, we all know about your experience in Ogun State. What do you see as the way forward? Have you given up?
No, I have not given up. The people will talk. The people will speak.
Okay.
We have not given up. What has happened is that we didn't like what was going on. Yes. In that party, the PDP. Okay. We quite didn't like what we do, and because we don't have, our confidence in getting the judiciary to do what they need to do at the right time. Yeah. At the right time, even if they do, whether it will happen at the right time. Because that was a bit eroded or shaking. Okay. We have to take on another plan. Okay. And this plan that we have taken on now, by the grace of God, the ultimate decider is God and people. Okay. So we are going there. Let's go there, go and test our popularity, and then we'll know who actually, have the people's mandate.
Okay, I like that. That's the professional way of doing things. I would like to get your advice now for the younger ones as we wrap up this interview segment.
Well, it is just for them to continue to have faith in this country. Quite a lot of things are not going right, but it's just for them to continue to have faith in it and also to participate in it. The youth have a lot more energy, they have a lot more zeal. I think it is for them to use it in the right way. And once we have that, everybody will sit tight. A situation where politicians and all that want to use the youth to commit all manners of atrocities. That is also not good. Anybody that's participating in that as a young person, if you're not complaining later that you don't get what you want, then you don't have a moral right to do. Yeah. So I think it is for the youth to just, in terms of population, the youths have the largest number in this environment. So even for the population, so they have what it takes. It is just for them to use it the right way. And when they do it the right way, it becomes easy for us to begin to get the kind of result that we want. I think that is what I would.
Okay, thank you very much. It's been my pleasure chatting with you. This is what we call professional handshake. It's a privilege, and we do that. That's, if you remember, I asked you advice for the youth. We are doing it to entice them to aspire to be like you, so that someday they too will be seated by my side to receive the same handshake. That's how it's been on the interview segment on HR to the Professional today. I'll see you on the other side to wrap up this show. Please don't go away. Alright, as said, that's the much we can take on the show HR to the Professional today. You will agree with me that Prince Gboyega Nasir Isiaka is indeed a core professional. You will agree with me also that to be a first-class material in one of the ancient universities of the old, it's not an easy thing. And he's seen it all, like I said, both in private and public sectors. And today he seeks your vote to be a #1 citizen in Ogun State. I can only but encourage you, the younger ones, to aspire to be like people like him so that we can have a better Nigeria. Till next week when I come your way, I remain Martin Sobu, urging you to make the program your #1 at all times. I'll see you.